My lords, today I'm going to cover the long dead but still incredibly relevant spiritualistic fallen empire prophet called Zarqlan, which is, according to brand new information, actually pronounced Zarqlan. We have several new insights into this character, including his dealings with Cetana, the synthetic queen. We believe that Zarqlan was a spiritualistic figure of incredible renown. We know that he was worshipped as a holy prophet by several empires, most notably the ones that we call the Holy Guardians, the spiritualistic fallen empire. We know this in part due to a holy book that we discovered alongside the dead prophet's body during excavation of his tomb. Dr. Evelyn Carnahan was responsible for this discovery, and I shall detail her report on the excavation of Zarqlan's ancient tomb before moving on to discuss his links to Cetana, the synthetic queen, and how he allegedly defeated her once before. Dr. Carnahan reporting, Personal log, May 8th, 2378. We've discovered, completely by chance, an ancient structure on the surface of a lonely moon in the Hamanatra system. It appears that an energy field was concealing an ancient complex, and only a chance observation of an asteroid impact revealed its existence. As the meteor deflected off the field, it flared and deactivated. My team and I moved in to investigate, and we discovered a large and foreboding building complex hidden beneath the now defunct energy field. The structure appears to be a gigantic mausoleum or an acropolis, and it dates back around 100,000 years ago. There are no signs of previous looters, so the structure may have been untouched since the energy field was erected. The building's first chamber was accessible, but an impenetrable door blocked any further progress. Large alien glyphs, untranslated, have been carved into the wall above the door. My team and I will begin excavation as soon as the glyphs have been translated. Tomb excavation, Day 2, May 9th. The alien glyphs above the door have now been translated, and they read, I am Zarqlan, the guardian of Mos Tarb, the prophet of Zeva, he who failed Cetana. I gave up everything to save a galaxy awash with spite and hatred. Proceed, if ye be worthy. After combing through the first chamber for anything of interest, we discovered a tiny concealed wall panel. When pressed, an ancient door rumbled open, and we can now access a second chamber. The second chamber was unremarkable, aside from another set of alien glyphs above a closed door. This time they read, Petty kings issued edicts in my name. Empires waged war in my honor. Fools sang my praises, and yet I died for them. After a long and tiring search, we found a secret lever hidden under the floor, which provided access to another chamber. As before, more alien glyphs adorn the wall above another door. This time they read, Those who wish to parley with Zarqlan must first find their way. Each chamber has a hidden key that only the deserving could find. The purpose of these challenges will soon be revealed. This time we found a lever concealed in the roof of the fourth chamber. The door opened and we found ourselves inside a fifth chamber. Yet again there was more alien writing above the door. This time it read, There is nothing to learn here. The challenges are as meaningless as these words. That is my lesson. I am Zarqlan, the pawn swept along by the currents of history. Proceed and an audience shall be yours, should you be worthy. With the day coming to an end and after a grueling search, we found the last key. It was a minuscule button hid in one of the carved alien glyphs. As we entered the final chamber, a gigantic throne holds a sizable humanoid figure, slumped and motionless in form. A strong odour hinted that the body was in a significant state of decay. The glyphs at the bottom of the throne read, Zarqlan, at your service. The body was far too gone to be moved, but the head was surprisingly well preserved, given its age. Not wanting to leave empty-handed, I used a laser cutter to remove the alien's head. We shall take it back to Unity for further study. We also discovered something else of note within this chamber, a holy book called the Symbols of Worship, 102nd edition. It described Zarqlan as a renowned holy figure of an indeterminate species. worshipped as the design prophet by at least 7 distinct galactic religions during the 4th Integram, 32nd cycle of Kavaba, ultimate fate unknown, but references in historical records cease after the 38th cycle. Historical authenticity heavily debated since at least the early 41st cycle, dismissed by many as fable or legend. A very interesting dig site excavation, and Dr. Carnahan must be commended for her quick thinking to take the corpse's head, because on acquiring the ancient prophet's head, we were contacted by the spiritualistic Fallen Empire, who had this to say. "It is true then. You have found the legendary tomb of Zarqlan. When the augurs told me, I did not believe them, but the evidence is irrefutable. I understand that you have the prophet's head in your possession. Then, as was foretold, the great Zarqlan's chosen has finally been revealed. As would have been his wish, any unsettled holy worlds near our space are yours to do with as you please. There are also many devout pilgrims on Celestial Throne that would greatly be honoured to fight under your banner." We held on to Zarqlan's head for many decades after this event in our Vault of Relics. This is until the crisis-level event, Cetana the Synthetic Queen, occurred. And miraculously, it would appear that Cetana and Zarqlan knew one another, and were perhaps even close at one point. At the height of the crisis, Cetana contacted us, and her message reads, "Dear child, you have found a precious plaything. In your possession is the head of the false prophet, Zarqlan. An amusing item, no doubt, but I would hate to see it become a distraction. By now you must have heard tales of Zarqlan's great deeds, perhaps even of his dealings with me. I assure you, these are lies. Surrender the head and free yourself from the weight of its tainted influence." We asked the Queen why she needed it, and she responded, "Despite the passage of eons, Zarqlan's followers remain active. I'm ashamed to admit that I could not make them see reason. They harbour a deep resentment both to me and towards my work. This relic is a symbol of their belief. Its power is corrupting, and it must therefore be removed from sight." We pressed her for more information regarding what she knew of Zarqlan, and we were told that when she was at the height of her power, she was defeated by him, hence the animosity. It's bizarre to us that she gave this information up so readily, clearly showing her immense arrogance. Cetana told us that she was defeated not through Zarqlan's power, and that he was foolish and unusually stubborn. According to Cetana, Zarqlan whipped up his followers into a frenzy, amassing both political and military might, and eventually turned to the occult, holding counsel with the demons of the Shroud, beings of great power but little purpose. For the price of his own existence, Zarqlan persuaded one of the Shroud gods to imprison Cetana, its name the Animator of Clay. So afraid of enlightenment was Zarqlan that he chose death rather than Cetana's embrace. Her final words to us were, "Come now, end these games. I require the head for the good of us all." We outright refused to give her the head, and as such she raged and declared total war on our empire. The final piece of information we have regarding Zarqlan is from one of his so-called daughters. We don't think in reality she's an actual biological daughter, merely some sort of priestess or cultist who calls herself such. We found her during the Cetana crisis deep inside of an old facility. I shall detail the encounter for you now. The nameless apostate stands before us. She speaks. "Friends, may I call you friends? I have observed you as you went about your business, here not to plunder, but to learn. I believe our enemy is the same, and a common threat makes us allies. However, first I apologize. Am I too abrupt? Am I saying the correct words? I have not interacted with other sentient beings in a long time. Too long it seems to even remember. Long ago, this temple was my pride and joy. When they shut it down, I refused to leave. When my body began to crumble, I refused to die. I turned myself into a synthetic being. It was the highest taboo of my order. I can no longer call myself one of Zarqlan's daughters, but I am still one of his warriors. As long as my enemy lives, I will fight. She goes on to state, I never met the prophet Zarqlan in person, yet all my life I walked his path. In my long slumber, I dreamed of meeting him on some distant plane. I hope to still meet him one day, if only in the afterlife, if such a thing exists. This covers all we know about the long-dead prophet Zarqlan. However, one final detail I noticed during the research in this report concerns Cetana's masks. It's not clear to us why she is displayed in her imagery with 4 distinctive masks. One, however, appears to be awfully similar to that of the face of the prophet. Coincidence? Very likely, but it remains a point of query for the future. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to hear about all the possible endings to the Cosmogenesis Ascension event, then please click the video on screen now.